Wow. Right? Holy moly. No, I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, maybe you should.
Okay, call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Brian Card,
Here.
Norm Ferrin,
Present.
Michael Huco,
Here.
John Sarantopoulos.
Here.
Lorraine Lagarde. And Keith Thurlow.
Present. Seating alternates, not necessary. Everybody got a full house. Any agenda addendums?
Not at this time, no.
Citizens' comments on items not subject to the public hearing. Individual presentations not to exceed 3 minutes, aggregate of 21 minutes unless otherwise indicated by a majority vote of the commission. Public comments can be emailed, publiccomment@killenlyct.gov, or mailed to the town of Killenly, 172 Main Street, Killenly, Connecticut, 06239. All public comments must be received prior to 2 p.m. the day of the meeting. Public comment received will be posted on the town's website, www.killenlyct.gov. As this is a hybrid meeting, citizens can participate in the citizens' comment by WebEx, joined by phone 1-415-655-0001, access code 2631-078-5504. So if anybody wants to speak, which looks like we'll be here a while, so just make sure you give your name and your address, please.
Well, good evening. My name is Charles Vidic. My address is 40 Frontage Road, Ashford, Connecticut, and I'm coming here in multiple capacities. I'm the State Water Planning Council Working Group for Watershed Protection, which I've been working on for a number of years. I'm also the Senior Project Manager for Western Connecticut Council of Governments, but I'm not coming here in that capacity. What I'm here talking about is the need for watershed protections. The more we develop our land, the more we need to protect it. And right now, the amount of land that's zoned for drinking water in Killingley is less than 3%. When we have over 17,000 people in this town and increasing pressure of development, both residential and commercial, the water supply is critical. We can't eat paper or cans or cardboard, but we do drink water. It's the fundamentals of life. So really one of the key things that I'm looking to do is to collaborate with the Zoning Commission, the Town Council, and other groups to propose to the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection to upgrade the GA classification, which is ordinary drinking water for private wells, to GAA, which is the groundwater classification for watersheds that have the potential for drinking water. The cost is actually virtually minimal to do so. It only takes the responsibility of the town to pay for the public hearing, which would be held to have such a thing. But the benefit of it is that we begin to recognize the importance of what you're already doing, and I know there's been talk about it, with the 5 River Overlay Zone. You're only one of about 10 towns in Connecticut that have at least thought of this idea and are at least have something. But there's at least 36 different types of zoning concepts can be used to protect public water supply watersheds. Right now, Killingley is only using 5 of them, and I won't go into the details of that, but you can find those kind of details in a report that our agency did called Safeguarding Public Water Supply Watersheds, put out by the Western Connecticut Council of Governments. Got a lot of state-wide coverage about a year ago, just because of the significance. It covers every one of the 169 towns, including Killingley. So I'd urge the commission to pay attention to not only the development role that they have, but the conservation role. Ever since 1995, that has been the dual responsibility of commissions, zoning commissions, development and conservation. So I would love to have the opportunity to work with you further on whatever you do with regard to riparian buffer issues, the 5 mile. But in this case, I'm suggesting the work be done in the area of the Whetstone Brook drainage basin. That's the one which feeds right into the Hopkins Aquifer. So that is pretty much all I have to say today, and I hope we can work together. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Barbara. I live on Putnam Pike in Dayville.
You get the last name, for the record, they need the last name as well.
Yater, Y-A-T-E-R.
Thank you.
What I want to talk about is the business that you guys want to put on Putnam Pike, the warehouse. You're putting it right near the water aquifer. So,
Good. So
For the record.
Yeah, if you're going to speak to that, you're going to wait till the public hearing for that.
okay, well,
that
I'm just going to
particular one.
finish what I'm saying. Thank you.
No, you
If
can't.
it's
I'm going to
specific to that,
finish
you
what I'm
can't.
saying. Thank you very
Shut
much.
the mic off, please.
Okay, you can shut it off. I'm still going to talk.
No, you're more than welcome to come back and speak at that application. You just,
When you guys put that there, all of us who live there, we have wells. Our wells are gonna go dry.
First off, we're not putting
All of the
anything there.
runoff
We're a
can't-
regulatory agency that is gonna review this.
I'm speaking and I would really
No,
like
I'm
to-
sorry, but you're not allowed to be
How
speaking.
much money are you making from this, Keith? Because we all know every project that goes through, you line your pockets. So how much money are you making from this? There's
I'm a
good
pretty poor
question.
man for somebody
There's
making
a
that.
good question.
Can you sit
line
down,
your
please?
pockets
Can we call the
What are-
police?
What are our taxes gonna go up? What are our taxes gonna go up? Because every time you make some dirty deal, our taxes always go up. So, these are simple questions, and I don't
Do I
understand,
say
it's
anything?
literally right here on the agenda, right here on the agenda, so why can't I speak about it?
You can, when the public hearing is open. Right now, there's no public hearing.
No, when the public hearing is open is when they speak on the public hearing.
it does if you want it as part of the public record. This will not be part of the official public record for that application is what we're trying to tell you. That's fine, ma'am. We'll let you finish, but it won't be part of that part, will not be part of the legal public record for that application.
Great, well then I'll email it to you and then it will.
Feel free.
So again, you guys put it there, all of us who have wells who are on that road, our wells are gonna dry up, there's gonna be runoff, who knows what, because nobody even knows what you're putting there. On top of that, it's Killingly One LLC is the owner of the land. First of all, Killingly One LLC is a funny name considering he's not even from Killingly, he's from Rhode Island. He got the land in a shady business deal, which I could go into. But either way, long story short, all of you who line your pockets to screw us every single day, it's really getting old. It's really getting old, and I'm specifically talking to you, Mr. Thurlow, because you line your pockets with every dirty deal that gets done in this town. You and your disgusting life.
Ed Grandelski, Upper Maple Street, Dayville. One thing I'd like to comment on is firefighting water. It seems like nobody cares for us to have enough firefighting water. When we were looking at the proposed planned residential development, the initial proposal that was on the books required city-type water and any building to be within 400 feet of a hydrant. But lo and behold, when it gets approved, there's zero water on the site. We have volunteer fire departments have a hard time getting access to water. Yes, we have some dry hydrants and whatnot, but we're putting a big burden on them. And the last couple of fires, had we had sufficient water, they could have saved some buildings and people wouldn't have gotten killed. So whenever we start looking at anything new, there's a lot of development going on. I don't know how we do it, but we've got to make access to more firefighting water. And if there are hydrants in the area, they better be capable of putting out enough volume and pressure. You know, you look at your homeowner's fire insurance section, or if you're within so many feet of a hydrant, you get a break on your fire insurance. But it doesn't say what capacity that hydrant has to have. So, you know, that's a big thing of mine now, and you'll be hearing from me nonstop on that. Thank you.
Ida Barris, 1123 North Road. Is this the time we can talk about Old Killingly Pond, or is that later? Now?
It's not on the agenda, so you can speak to it.
Okay, good. Well, you've probably all heard that the pond has been drained, and we're waiting to, well, DEEP, we're waiting to hear what DEEP says about the Wish Corporation's plan to pretty much drain the pond forever, is the way I'm understanding it. And we're talking about, everybody so far has been talking about clean water and safe water, and it's really important that we bring Old Killingly Pond back to its full force so that we have that nice, deep, naturally acidic lake feeding into the aquifer. So it's really, really important that all interested parties, which pretty much should be everybody that lives in Killingly, find a way and find the funds to restore Old Killingly Pond. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Justin Fisher. I live at 94 Dam Road on Lake Chobamog, also known as Old Killingly Pond. Sorry, it's a mouthful. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to thank Charles. Charles, you're truly a gift to be around. I hope that one day I can accomplish even a fraction of what you have in your lifetime. What doesn't show up on any resume but is deeply felt in our hearts, is that you do this work because it's the right thing to do, not because it serves anyone else's agenda. On behalf of the Killingly Clean Water Coalition, we thank you. We are extremely grateful for you. Tonight, I want to share something a little unexpected. It's a children's book. I got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. They're my world. I read it often to my daughters, and it has recently struck to me as an incredibly relevant to what we are living through right here in Killingly. It's called We Are Water Protectors. If you guys want, I'll read it to you tonight before bedtime, tuck you guys all in. Be great. It is a I'm going to butcher this, Caldecott Medal winner written by Carol Lindstrom. The story is told through the eyes of a young Indigenous woman who warns off a looming threat referred to as the Black Snake. The Black Snake in this story represents the environmental destruction, pipelines, pollution, and decisions that put profit ahead of people and nature. In response, the community rises together as water protectors, standing peacefully but firmly to defend their most sacred resource, water. Throughout the book, water is treated not only as a commodity, but as a living relative, something that gives light, deserves respect, and must be protected for future generations. The story speaks to unity, courage, responsibility, and the deep spiritual connection between people and the land. The message feels especially close to home as we discuss headwaters, aquifers, overlays along the 5 Mile River, and long-term health for our community. We are water protectors. We Are Water Protectors reminds us that protecting water is a responsibility rooted in place in care for future generations. In Killingly, our history from native stewardship to the rediscovery of Lake Chobamog, now Killingly Pond, deserves respect and protection. The Black Snake in the book represents forces that threaten water for profit, and we see those same pressures here today. How we respond will shape the health of our children, our neighbors, and the generations who come after us. I strongly encourage everyone, parents, grandparents, educators, and leaders to read this book. Read it to yourself, read it with the next generation. If anybody would like to borrow a copy, Lainey and Lila will lend theirs for a mere pack of M&Ms, I'm sure. I'll close with this. 2026 must be the year for accountability. Killingly Clean Water Coalition is committed to that principle. No more numerous conflict of interest within our town committees. No more simply monitoring while deep harm continues. When it comes to clean water, you're either protecting it or you're not. To quote the famous man, John LaBelle, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and water is always worth protecting. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. We'll move on. Go ahead.
To the first speaker, I didn't catch, was it Charles? I didn't catch your name. Did you provide a copy of that report to the town staff?
Oh, can I leave you, I'll leave a copy at the end of the meeting, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Public hearings, review, discussion, and action. Public comment, hearing comments can be emailed to publiccomment@killinglyct.gov or emailed to the town of Killingly, 172 Main Street, Killingly, Connecticut, 06239. All public comments must be received prior to 2 p.m. the day of the meeting. Public hearing comments received will be posted on the town's website, www.killinglyct.gov. To participate in the public hearings, the public may join the meeting via telephone while viewing the meeting on Facebook Live. To join by phone, please dial 1-415-655-0001 and use the access code 2631-078-5504. Subdivision application number 25-1361, Michael and Sharon M. Doty, applicants, landowners, 101 Coomer Hill Road, GIS map 186, lot 3.1, 17 acres, RD, proposed 3-lot subdivision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Mark Tebow, Killingly Engineering Associates, and I'm here representing Michael and Sharon Doty this evening for a proposed 2-lot subdivision of 17.7 acres at an address of 101 Coomer Hill Road. Here we go. The 3 lots that we are proposing, there would be an 8.8 acre lot, which is the furthest to the south, where Mr. Doty will be building a home for himself. The 2.3 acre lot in the middle, he proposes to deed to his daughter to build a home, and the 6.6 acre lot has not quite decided what he's going to do with it yet. Most likely, it would probably be for sale at some point in the future, should this get approved. The project has been approved for subdivision suitability by the Northeast District Department of Health. It has also been approved by the Inland Wetlands Commission as well. You can see these, the limits of clearing are shown in the lighter green, what we're doing here. And we are setting back the street line here to 25 feet off the center line of the road. There is a stone wall that runs parallel to the road, and in a couple of the spots, the road is pretty much on top of the road, so, on top of the wall. So we are setting that street line back to give the town a little more room in the event that they wanted to do some roadway improvements there. They would be able to do that. The lots themselves are sloped from the road to the west, back toward the wetland areas. So the development of these lots will not create any kind of drainage issues on the road itself. Everything is going to be flowing away from the road. The slopes are about 3 to 5%, so very gently sloped lots here. The sight lines are also very good on Kumiho Road. There's really not much traffic at all on Kumiho Road, so the addition of 3 lots here, we don't expect it to really change any of the traffic patterns or the level of service of the road itself. The homes as excuse me, as you see them here, the septic systems that were approved by the Northeast District Department of Health. The feasibility were for 3-bedroom homes, because I know both Mr. Doty and his daughter proposed to do that. If in fact the builder of the other lot were to go any bigger, they would have to get that approved by the Department of Health. Each of these lots require engineered septic system designs when the final site plans are developed. Now, we've had some conversation with Anne Marie, excuse me, regarding open space and the fee in lieu of open space. So what I've shown here, and this is in a topic I think that we can discuss this evening, because the way that I read the open space requirements, it says all subdivisions approved on these regulations shall preserve open space in perpetuity, where in the opinion of the commission such land serves one or more of the following purposes. And there are 12 different criteria within that section. Out of the 12, I think that we can say there are 3 of these things of these criteria that we meet. One of them is to conserve soils, wetlands, swamps, and marshes, preserve sites and areas of scenic beauty or historic or archaeological interest. We do have a foundation, an old historical foundation on the corner of lot number 3, the northeastern corner. We have avoided that with the driveway placement, and this configuration of open space that we've shown here would preserve that, as well as a good portion of the wetlands on that site as well. And then finally, conserve forest, field, meadows, stands of unique scenic trees, wildlife habitat, which is what we focus on here, agricultural or other natural resources. So out of all of those items, we feel as though it would help to preserve wildlife habitat. We would, with the 17.7 acres, we would be required to have 3.54 areas of open space or conservation, and we've got about 4.2 acres that we've shown here. With the understanding that, if this were to be considered, it would have to go before the Conservation Commission, and they would have to approve it. One of the other things that we are also open to would be a combination of perhaps some conservation land and a fee in lieu for one of the lots, since Mr. Doty and his daughter would be maintaining ownership of the first 2 lots. The 3rd lot, we feel as though the application of a fee in lieu of open space might be applicable for that lot. So Like I said, we would offer the conservation and a portion of the fee in lieu. Mr. Doty purchased this lot for $235,000 last summer, last fall. So I feel as though the $235,000 is probably an applicable cost to base the open space fee on, the fee in lieu of open space. If the commission and/or this commission or the Conservation Commission were to consider that. So I think that's, pretty much what I have to present to the commission this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, any questions? Mike?
I saw a comment about the driveways. Was that squared away, or what the drive, is they gonna be paved, or?
No, we're not, just the aprons. We'll pave the aprons in accordance with the driveway ordinance in the town, but we're proposing gravel driveways.
Anybody else? Mike,
There
John?
was a notation on the right-of-way that was requested to be incorporated onto the prints. And I forget specifically what it was. It was for the benefit of the owner.
Would that just be setting back the street line, perhaps, to 25 feet off the center line?
Yeah, there was nothing here on part of the right-of-way for this, on my report. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but every single driveway has its own driveway. Every single
Yeah,
parcel.
but the one that's running adjacent to the right-of-way that the utility has on, I guess that's lot number 1. I think the type of easement or whatever it is was determined that it should be noted on the print.
The only comment that was in the staff was that the applicant will need to apply for a driveway permit for each lot with engineering department.
Sorry, just, what I was talking to Commissioner Saratopoulos
Yep,
was
no.
basically your zoning requirement table that's been added.
Yes.
That was one of the comments that
Yeah,
staff had, was
that's,
to make sure that it was
that's been
clear, all the dimensional
added to sheet
setbacks.
3 of the plans,
Yeah,
correct?
so I think that, I'm inferring that's what he was guessing for, was to
Okay.
make sure the dimensional requirements for the side setbacks.
Yeah, because,
and
well,
front
we
setbacks are
had,
clear.
what we had on the lots here, just for the purposes of clarity, a lot of times to keep the plans from getting cluttered, the long lengths of the roadway will have the numbers on them, but if you have short curves, we actually have a curve table. So they weren't actually listed on the frontages of the properties, they were in a table on the plan. So we added the zoning table to clarify that.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anything else you want to ask? Brian?
I don't know if you can hear, just on the open space you mentioned, so
Mhm.
obviously there's no calculations provided, you just kind of listed off the acres real quick there.
Yeah, it's 15% of the 17.7 acres would be 3.54.
But you also need to do the calculations for the wetlands that are on this property as well.
Yeah, they're,
So, and do
the-
basically the allocation appropriately, and I don't know
Yeah.
if you've done that,
Yeah,
if that's adequate.
I can provide that. The amount of wetlands in the open space itself that we have is about 52%. So I will get you the percentage of wetlands in for the entire parcel.
Yeah, just so we can make sure that, because
Sure.
just my quick look at your plan there is I don't know if I would, that stopping that open space at the lot line is appropriate versus it covering the entire, you're stopping it right in the middle of a wetland,
Yeah.
right? Versus it covering the wetlands, and that's that lot 2 and going maybe into lot 1, so.
Yeah,
That seems to
absolutely.
make more sense, but again, and I think the calculations will prove some of that you probably don't have enough open space in your calc. But
All right, well.
I'm guessing.
We'll take a look. Well, and this was something that we put together this afternoon for the purposes of discussion, knowing that we'd also have to go to the Conservation Commission. I mean, we understand, this is the public hearing this evening. There's no big rush to get this approved or to push it through. Mr. Doty doesn't plan to build until the summer. So, if we could take a second look at it and just really kind of nail down that open space before going to the Conservation Commission and coming back to you folks.
And just, and I know it's not really our purview, but the septic for lot 2, those no questions or comments from the NDDH on that? Just the septic size and the location on lot 2 compared to lots 1 and 3, just.
Yeah, it's a different system. We did, on lots 1 and 3, we're showing stone trenches.
Yep.
We have an Elgin system shown on lot 2, so it's a smaller footprint.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner? Anybody else? Staff?
No comments at this time.
Anything else, Norm, you want to add at this point? Public, anybody from the public want to speak to this application?
Ed Grandelski, Upper Maple Street. When it comes to the open space, if wetlands are included in the open space, it's like we've taken wetlands over the years, and it was very difficult. We actually went through a lot of had a study done, and some of the areas that we had for open space were so rough terrain, so much wetlands, that I don't know if it's in Town of Killenly's best interest to do that. I think the fee in lieu of would be a better bet. And in most cases, this open space is only accessible to the parties involved right at that site. I mean, if there was something there that was of significant consequence, where the public could get access from the roadway, I think that might be beneficial. But I think from my standpoint, a fee in lieu of would be a better option. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Commissioners, again, once more?
I agree with that, Mr. Gronowski's statement.
Okay, Brian, so are we continuing this then? Or-
Yeah, I think you're continuing because you'll have the open space information and or the fee in lieu calculation too, which is necessary as part of the subdivision.
Can we have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing.
A second?
Second.
Second.
And that will be February 17th.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Continue. Special permit application number 251362, Derek B. Redgate, P.E. applicant, Killenly One LLC landowner, 90 Putnam Pike, GIS map 89, lot 22, 58 acres general commercial to construct 2 new distribution centers totaling 476,250 square feet of gross floor area with associated loading bays, etc. Somebody here to speak to that?
Mr. David Redgate is on the screen. Dave.
Yeah, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great, thank you. Good evening, my name's Derek Redgate. I'm a civil engineer with Solely Engineering. I am here tonight representing the applicant. And I wanted to give you an update on the project. I know we opened the hearing after your last meeting. And we are currently still working through Inland's Wetland Commission submission and application. I'd say we're a little bit behind in our process with that. I was anticipating being a little more with them going forward. So two things that have come up that we're currently working on. We have decided that we're going to revise our plan so that we're no longer in need of the waiver requests that we had made in our submission to planning and zoning. And also right around Christmas week, we did receive some comprehensive comments from the town engineer. So based on those two decisions and the comments, we're going to be resubmitting our site plans. They're generally the same to the eye, but they're quite a bit of work for us to make the revisions. So I would, as my update tonight, I was just going to give you this update that we plan to submit pretty extensive revised site plans by February 10th, so that we could come back to this committee on February 17th at your next meeting. And at that time, we'll be prepared to give a much more comprehensive presentation with both traffic, myself as the civil engineer, and if you wanted to, I would also bring the project architect with me for that meeting as well on the 17th. So yeah, we've progressed quite a bit, but we'd like to progress our site plans, get a little bit further along with the Conservation Commission, and then come back to planning and zoning on the 17th. But I'm happy to answer any general questions you have of us, and stay on the meeting for any public questions also.
So this is a continuance then?
This is the opening of the public hearing
Right.
tonight. It will be continued to next month. They went before the Wetlands Commission, and that's also been continued to next month because of the comments made by the town's engineers. So there were some concerns that they're addressing that the town engineer made.
I guess we'll just let public speak if they'd like to this app, because I don't see where we're gonna be able to do anything other than that.
Just bear with me, I'm not good with public speaking. Jennifer St. Vincent, this is Peter Bernard, my husband. We're 136 Putnam Pike, Killenly, Connecticut. I wanted to read something that I've been doing a lot of digging, trying to figure out like what's gonna bring to our community, our yard, our families, everything. Noise pollution, 24-hour noise surrounding our homes. Home density ordinance is Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Decibel average is 6.12 in our area. It's already over 60 in our yard. Sound walls only quiet 5 to 10 decibels. Outside warehouse decibels are 60 to 90 plus. Trucks alone are 85 decibels. That's one warehouse. They want to put 2 on here. Radon is very high in this area. We had our house tested. Before we could move in, we had to put a water and an air in our home. Neighborhoods where warehouses have 18 to 20% higher concentration nitro dioxide, half a mile to 2.5 miles around the area it travels, which causes increased risk to children in the area for asthma. High school is right nearby, Owen Ball Park, which is always full in the summertime and spring for games and families to go play with their children. Adults expose heart disease, strokes, and other health issues. our home values will go down. Pollution to our ground, air, and water. The water and land risk, stormwater runoff, soil impacts, in some cases over 100 acres of farmland and natural habitats can be affected. Many trees cut down can cause air quality to get very low. Many animals lose their homes. We have thousands coming through our yard and we greet them, we love them, it's peaceful. Our privacy, noise in our area is high. Across the street is the highway. Across there is the shelter. The dogs are barking at 4:30 in the morning. I have called to see if dogs are in distress, if there's animals attacking them, because at 4:30 in the morning, we're getting woken up. And town shed trucks. This morning, 7:01, I'm out in my driveway, and I can hear the beeping already starting because they're getting ready to start their day. And never mind the school buses, same thing. We can hear the school buses beeping, and our windows are closed. Noises, warehouses within 1,000 feet. Our home is 60 feet from, this is 60 feet from our property, is likely to cause significant adverse effects on residents, higher crime rates, more traffic. Those traffic lights have been an issue at the corner of Route 101 and Route 12. They shut off and nobody knows the traffic pattern. Car insurances go up. Most people don't know this, but if there's more accidents, when your yearly goes up, when your yearly comes around, you will get charged higher as a taxpayer. And no, they're not going to pay. We're going to pay as home people. Question, I get asked this all the time. Working opportunities. Warehouse employment turnover is more than 49% annually. Some are 100% happening right now. Low paying, not good working environment, demanding more work from people. More empty buildings. They say they don't have anybody to rent these places. Hello? Also, allowing this to pass may give other companies idea to want to build more industrial sites in this neighborhood. This will not only affect us, but our neighbors and our whole community. 3 years ago, we chose to move here. We lived in the city life. We chose this home because of the peaceful of the backyard. This is a big interruption to us and our neighbors' everyday life for a 24-hour daily operation. Imagine living in an area where all hours of the night, constant beeping and noises, high chemical smells, looking over your shoulder because you don't know who's walking in your yard. After a long day of working, our homes are a place for people supposed to feel safe, enjoy, relax, unwind from events happening in the world around them. We ask you to take a moment, think about the people in the neighborhood, our community, how this will affect our everyday life. We have a petition of people against passing this industrial zone being allowed. I'm sorry, I've never done this. We've never had to deal with this, but I will tell you, our old home in Rhode Island, they did the same thing 2 miles away, and we were very affected. We bought our home, and 4 months later, it was condemned with high mold. Our outside of our house was 170 mold count. Inside our home, because the water kept seeping in, was 1,720. Our children, it was eating at their intestines. They were 5 and 6. Our dog went into a coma. He passed away at this point. This is what we have been dealing with. We're just trying to survive in this life. We're just doing what's right. We don't bother anybody. I think I know 3% of people in Killenly. That's it. I don't bother anybody. We go to work, we come home, we stay to ourselves. We go to the stores when we need stuff, we bring it home. That's it. But if you keep doing this to us, just more and more, the stores, I go into the store, people are telling me those jobs aren't hiring. I have people handing me applications asking me if I want to work. People are choosing what they want to do. Pay is low. The warehouses are no better. I don't know if anybody understands this. Do a little bit of research. I went down rabbit holes after rabbit holes. And not only that, but West Haven, I believe it was. No, Nuttatuck, I think is how you pronounce it. Nuttatuck, okay. So the person that lives closest to the construction site that's going on over there is a fourth of a mile. That is 1,320 feet away from that person's home. You know how far it is from my home? 0.0114 miles. The destruction of them building back there can actually ruin the foundation of our home, our land, everything. Is that fair for us, hardworking people? We came out here to have a peaceful life. We're getting older. And I don't know who my neighbors are, but I did go door to door, hand them flyers. Please look out, do your research on this property, the whole 9 yards. And a lot of them were elderly. That's sad. That's what you guys are supporting? Is the people, the hired people, the people to put what? Warehouses for what? What about our children? Do we not care about those? Those are the people of our future. How about people our age, 40s? We are the working people. Do you not agree? I don't understand. Like, how, I had people saying, like, stop doing this. Like, we need the jobs. Those people are not going to last. If you look at their Facebook page, research them, they don't have a job because they don't choose not to have a job. They will have a job for 2 months and then they will quit and they'll make some lie up. I work in the auto dish industry. I deal with people all day. When I come home, I don't want to hear beeping. I don't want to see tons of traffic more than what is there. Sometimes it takes me 5 minutes to pull out of my driveway just to go to where I have to go to work. I leave my house 45 minutes and I only work 22 minutes away from work, home. Isn't that kind of sad? Thank you. It's just going to affect so many of us, and not only that, but the animals. I have been in animal rescue for 12 years, both of us. We've saved thousands of dogs. We helped. We can no longer do it due to financials. But like now you're going to kill the deer, the raccoons, the foxes. The deer bring their babies to us to see them every day. My nieces and nephews who live in the city, they come, they spend weekends with us, and they're like, Auntie, look how cute, and they're 9 and 10. We want our families to be brought up like that, to know that that's what the world is really about, not warehouses in our backyard. Like one night we went out, and there was a little rainstorm, and there was thousands of fireflies. We're no longer going to see that. No longer going to see that because you're going to wipe everything out. And it's a proven fact. The more trees you cut down, the louder it's going to get. And yes, they're a little bit higher. And we also do have a video if you want us to show you. I don't know how we can show you. Back in December of 2023, when we first moved in, there was a rainstorm. It was 6.2 inches of rain, okay? Yes, it was December. I can show you the rock wall in front of my driveway, the water pouring out of there. It was insane. My house got water inside of it. It was enough to soak up with a little bit of towels. That's fine. But if you put this up there, that's all wetland up there. We've been hiking up there many times because we've heard animals in distress and we're trying to find them, trying to see if we can help something. We go out there just for some peace and quiet. You don't understand what this is going to do to our community in the future also. Owen Park, take a ride over there during baseball season. See all the little children, all the families spending, laughing, enjoying themselves. You want them breathing in all this crap? And now you want to put us right behind it. That's so, like, I don't understand why people are, like, thinking about money. How about our life, our future? Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello? Yes?
Hey again, Justin Fisher, 94 Dam Road. I just wanted to try to change the tune of tonight, although everybody's feelings and emotions are valid and understandable. I also wanted to take the time to thank the committee, commission. It's not an attack on you guys per se. Unfortunately, you know, myself being in a leadership role at work, sometimes I am the punching bag, and that's okay, right? People need to get their emotions out, and they are valid and understandable. But I just wanted to try to change the tune and the tone, and not make you guys feel like it's any attack towards you, because I know we all are neighbors at the end of the day. Yeah, no, I
Everything is valid. They're the ones making the decision, and I'm sorry.
yeah, so I'm just gonna finish my little.
They're the ones who are going against it.
Yeah, no, I trust me. We can have conversations after this. I just wanted to keep this appropriate and kind of keep everything factual and based, and it's easier to be heard when you're not yelling. Yes, yes, trust me, I get it. I have that struggle too. Trust me, I promise. Military man, so trust me, yelling is the easiest thing for me to do. But I just wanted to try to change the tone, and I also appreciate everybody here. It's 8 o'clock at night. We're all talking very heavy topics, water quality, quantity. I think these distribution centers do not fit in Killingly, Connecticut. personally. And I think if you wanted to even go into more facts, stuffing them on top of the protected aquifer, is just asinine. The diesel runoff, the excess of this and that coming in and out, yeah, I think that's blatant disrespect to the town, to everything that we stand for as a body, as neighbors. We can all have our disagreements and everything, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Thank you.
It sounded like someone that was connected by the phone wanted to talk, and I'm not sure which one it was that wanted to talk.
Hello?
Which number are you, please? Just give us the last 2 digits of your phone, please.
26.
Okay. Would you be so kind? Could you
Hello?
yes, hello. Can you please give us your name and your address, and then give us your comments?
Yes, Jasmine Birdie, 125 Lake Road in Dayville. So I have 3 young kids, ages 10, 9, and 5, and one on the way as well. And I have a few concerns regarding the proposed distribution center. One of them being Walgreens, the distribution center, had recently closed. Why are we not using that building or any other closed industrial building? Why are we tearing down more trees and disrupting the environment to be building more warehouses? Also, accidents on 101. We already have so many accidents on 101. It's insane. I think this is going to increase unnecessary traffic on 101 and coming off of the highways, as well as increased traffic for Killingly High School and Killingly Central School. For those of you who don't know, Killingly Central School is an elementary school, and right across from this proposed site is the highway department and the animal shelter. I am curious to know how it's going to impact the animals, and not only the noise level with the animals, but a lot of those animals already have issues with abandonment and whatnot, and it's just sad, honestly, to subject them to all this unnecessary traffic with the warehousing, as well as the neighbors that live by there. But it's also going to impact the school buses that are coming to and from Killingly High School, Killingly Central School, bringing our kids home, and how is that going to impact them getting to and from school? And with all the increased traffic from the tractor trailers, who's going to be paying for the maintenance on the roads? Is it going to be left as a burden on us taxpayers? I just think that these are a lot of issues that really should be thought about in depth. And if you guys have ever seen the movie The Lorax, the kids movie, it really has a lot of good information and good points. You're gonna end up destroying this area. I mean, just recently there was a 7-Eleven that was passed. A proposed 7-Eleven truck stop to be in Dayville, right down the road from this proposed warehouse. What about the traffic and how that's going to impact it, because that was approved? And what about the water? I mean, so many people have brought up about the water, and that's because we care. We have families here, and we want to stay here. And that's the beauty of Killingly. This is why I moved to Killingly years ago, rather than any other surrounding towns. I thought it was a great place to bring my kids and have them grow up. So I just think that, this really should be thought about in depth with so many different points. And there's going to be so many issues regards to animals and you're driving them out of their homes, and then people wonder why they're going to be out in the streets and they have nowhere to go. And it's not fair to the people, to the animals, to the community. I don't think this is the right town for this. So thank you for your time.
Hello, I'm Dr. Angelina Wagner. I'm actually from Putnam. Me and my family moved here 3 years ago. We're originally from Alaska, and we worked really hard to find a place to make our home. And although I do not live in your town, I have seen the way that this town comes together for people. I had a friend that was in a fire over on Valley Road just before Christmas, and I watched the way this community came together to support each other. I wanted to share a brief story about a town in Alaska whose aquifer had too much stress put on it and how that affected that local community. The town is North Pole, Alaska. It is the town right over from the one that I am from. And years ago, there was an industrial facility that was approved there with storm water and containment systems that met all standards in the place at time. On paper, the project appeared responsible and compliant with everything that was asked of it. No one could see in the early years what was happening slowly underground. Small leaks, gradual subsurface movement went unnoticed. There was no big, significant, dramatic failure, no clear moment when alarms went off. Instead, impacts unfolded quietly over time. Years later, residents began to discover that their groundwater and drinking water wells had been affected. What made the situation especially difficult is that groundwater does not recover quickly. As an aquifer is stressed and compromised, the consequences can last for generations. That happened in the 70s, and they are still dealing with it. There are people who had to sell their houses because they could not afford to dig new wells because they had to go deeper into the ground. There are people who could not afford the water tank systems that they had to then install because they could not use the well water. They didn't have the money to pay for the water treatment systems. And I know what it's like to grow up drinking bottled water, to having to wait for your water to be delivered to you instead of just tapping into the ground like everyone else was allowed to. And I would really hate to see that happen here. And I'm not saying that this development is going to cause that, but I am saying that the water that it's going to take for this development, plus what's going on with Old Kidney Pond, combined together increases the risk of the stress that is put on this aquifer. And again, I watched this community come together. I would hate to see this community suffer the way that North Pole did, because again, it started in the 70s and it's 2026 and they're still dealing with the aftermath of a choice that they thought that they would have water for days. I do have questions that I don't necessarily need answers to. I just want to put them out for thought. And there's 3 of them. One is, given that this project sits within the watershed connected to Old Kidney Pond, Whetstone Brook, and ultimately the Hopkins Aquifer, how is this commission ensuring that the groundwater recharge and water quality are protected not just at the time of approval, but over time? My second question is, what are long-term monitoring and performance verifications? What will be required to detect gradual subsurface impacts in groundwater that may not be visible during construction or early operation? And my third question is, if the real-world conditions differ from the modeled assumptions used in the site plans, what authority does the town have to authority does the town retain to require correction action to protect the resources? It is not my intent to ask these questions to undermine anybody. I just want to see that your guys' water is protected, because even though I'm from Alaska and we have the most lakes out of all of the states, water should not be taken for granted. I've seen it be taken away from villages, I've seen it be taken away from small towns, and it's not something that you get back easily. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Sheena Rigerello, and I am a local realtor that runs an Instagram page which shares local content, and it's called Inside Our Quiet Corner, Connecticut. It specifically is hyper-local and touches on news, events, businesses, community stories, and highlights that are happening around northeastern Connecticut. Some residents have reached out to me on my social media and have voiced some concerns and questions that they would like me to read here tonight. They were not able to attend, and they would like me to share. A couple of the questions here that I have are from them, so I would like to read them on their behalf. One of them is, do you know how many impervious acres are on the APA aquifer protection area, if any, and how do you protect them? And so that's similar to what she was just speaking about. Why aren't we using some of the old buildings that are already built, like the Walgreens Distribution Center? It's already in the industrial park. Instead of building 2 new buildings, let's utilize some of what is already built and vacant. And myself, already as an agent, I do know that there are lots of vacant buildings, and it would be great to see those utilized instead of something just sitting vacant. And I am a Killingly resident, so I would like to see not vacant properties be utilized instead of a disruption of our forests, our animals, the aquifer. There's so many different things that could be utilized in maybe not even in this town, but in our surrounding towns that I know of even personally. Another question was, there's concerns about the infrastructure being able to handle all of the truckloads. Is there a plan for that? I know that somebody else touched on that one too. And lastly, somebody said, how will this impact what we are called, the last Green Valley, with the light pollution, the water shutoff, acres of pavement, and then changing the surrounding environment? It's what we're known for. We're the last Green Valley. Thank you.
Hi, bear with me. I haven't done this in a really long time. My name is Stacy Stadnicki. I live on Maryland Street. I have a couple of questions. A couple are procedural because I'm not familiar with the way that Killingly does things. I noticed that today's the start of the public hearing, and he stated, the engineer stated that he was going to resubmit the plans. Doesn't the clock start on the public hearing? Is it 60 days or 90? That it has to be closed and a vote has to happen?
Well, they can ask for an extension of an additional 65 days. It's usually a 35 days from the date the public hearing is open to the date the public hearing is closed.
Okay. I'm just concerned
However,
that by the
because
time he submits these new plans, if the commission's going to have enough time to review them.
they have already, the applicant has already made staff known that they'd be willing to have that extension put in.
Okay. And my second question is, why was it accepted by the zoning? Why was it even accepted by zoning if it hasn't gone through wetlands? Do they have to go through wetlands? Are there wetlands on this property?
There are wetlands on this property. They do have to go through wetlands. The Planning and Zoning Commission cannot make their final decision until they have the final decision from the wetlands, and that is an automatic under the statute.
Okay.
That we cannot do that.
Okay. So has wetlands started a public hearing?
Wetlands does not maintain a public hearing, but they have gone and they have seen them, but that's where they got the comments back from the town engineer, and that's when they said that we will respond to these comments. And
So-
again, as he said before, that there were some waivers, and he understood they can't ask for the waivers, so they're
Okay.
correcting all of that.
So he's submitting a new plan to wetlands too, correct?
Correct. He's updating it in accordance to what the town engineer is requiring.
And they don't do public hearings? But
Not usually, no.
even with public interest?
I'm gonna let Jonathan come out and talk. Stacy.
How's it going?
Hi.
Jonathan Blake, zoning officer, planner, also wetlands agent for the town of Killingly. So the Wetlands Commission has received the application. They currently have decided not to schedule a public hearing. It's actually discouraged in the wetlands regulations to do public hearings based off the state's model regulations. Being that a updated plan is gonna be forthcoming, it is possible they might change their mind. The Wetlands Commission has already decided to do a site walk of the property. So that was public site walk, it was advertised. They
When
conduct-
it's already happened?
It already happened, yep. There's minutes available for that. Just to expound on that a little bit, our Wetlands Commission is also the Aquifer
That was my
Protection
next
Agency.
question.
So they hold that.
I know it is.
Hat, and they look at both sets of regulations instead of opening just for
Mm-hmm.
aquifer to look at that portion of the project and then open for wetlands. They look at it as a totality. I can tell you that if it were to move forward, further registration of any entity that would go in there would have to go back to aquifer prior to occupancy.
Because that was my next question, was the Aquifer Protection Agency, what kind of jurisdiction do they have and what kind of regulations do they, what do they require to give their approval?
Yeah, so the Aquifer Protection Agency, which is our Wetlands Commission, they have their own.
They're
set-
actually, it's two separate things, but they act as one. It's
Yeah,
the same
it's-
people, but it's two separate commissions.
It's a different hat, just like we're
Mhm.
combined planning and zoning commission, different
Yes.
hats. So they're looking at a separate set of regulations for aquifer in the sense of protecting the water quality. There's construction requirements, things that can't be done inside of an aquifer. For
Mhm.
instance, in-ground tanks.
Does that
floor
include septic?
drains. There are different requirements for septic in terms of total size and other things. So again, those items will come up at our Wetlands Commission meeting. Being that there's gonna be updated plans, I'm gonna wait to expound on comments on it for that meeting.
Okay, and has Connecticut Water been consulted at all? 'Cause it's their
there-
aquifer?
So there's a requirement from the state through those model regulations, but also the town of Killingley's regulations that Connecticut Water be noticed by the applicant. So that is a good point to bring up at the wetlands meeting.
Okay, but you're the wetlands enforcement officer, correct?
Yep.
And you know about this. Could you take it upon yourself to make sure that
So
they are notified?
So in the past, I've actually.
Because I don't exactly trust
Yes.
developers to do what they're supposed to do.
So in the past, as an aquifer agent, wetlands agent for the town, I've actually notified the Crystal Water, Connecticut Water, of projects and have been told kindly, don't do that. It is a requirement of the applicant. So we do share those and we report back to the state, all registrations and projects, but there's a requirement that sits solely with the applicant, and it is reasonable for the commission to ask for that documentation, and that is a documentation I believe we're waiting for.
Yeah,
Yes.
'cause-
They did, on their application, they did state that they submitted something to them on 11/21/25.
Okay. Because I know that they have their hands full already with their PFAS problems. If you look at their CCR or their water monitoring, they are already exceeding for that well.
Yes, yep. Understood. Thank you.
Good evening. Brendan Adams, 289 Yosemite Valley Road. I'm going to touch on a few things here. I've lived in town now. My wife and I bought our home in 2012, so I've got some time in town. This is the first time I have ever attended a town meeting of any sort, so hooray for me. Now, before me coming to Killingly, I ride motorcycles. I'm very familiar with the area. I've ridden motorcycles 25 years. Come down Route 14A in Plainfield, rolling farmland. They stuck a warehouse. I never once said, you know what would really look good here? A warehouse. Lo and behold, we have it. All right? Now, I'm going to go a few steps forward here. This woman here mentioned she was North Road, right? 1123 North Road? Okay. I urge all of you, tonight, when you leave here, take a ride down North Road, okay? Right after this woman's house, there's a giant field. It is probably the last piece of pure open sky this side of Hartford, okay? I strongly urge all of you. Once this warehouse goes up, that is gone, all right? there's a dull glow you can see in the distance, which is a Killenly Commons. Okay? Add a warehouse of this size, it's gone forever. All right? Please take a ride to North Road tonight and just look. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Waylon Leonard. I reside at 280 Putnam Pike. So I don't have too much to add to what my neighbors have said. I'd like to echo my concern for the loss of natural habitat and freshwater resources in the town. But I'd also like to add, being on Putnam Pike now, I lived there since 2016. There's an awful lot of pedestrian traffic, and I don't know, it seems like you're going to take a road that already has a lot of motor traffic going at higher speeds than they need to. There's no shoulder for these people to walk, and now it's going to be traversed with dozens upon dozens of tractor trailer trucks that are now going to have to share that road. There are constantly people biking and walking. There's no sidewalk. There's no shoulder. I don't know that there's ever been any consideration for these people's safety. Where I live at 280, I'm just past the high school, you know, maybe a mile from the Golden Greek, but there's a lot of old factory duplexes there, low-income housing. These people don't have cars. A lot of them walk and work at Killenly Commons, and now they're going to have to share these roads with large tractor trailer trucks. Someone's going to die out there. People walk all the time. And like I said, some of those houses, especially on my side of the street, I share the side with the high school. Once you get past my house, maybe a house or two, some of these houses are right up against the road. And like I said, the shoulder is, you couldn't even break down a car there and not be worried about getting hit. So what are these folks supposed to do? And is anyone concerned about pedestrian safety on this road? Because they're out there. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you. Have a nice night.
I'd like to speak if no one's at the podium.
Who's speaking, please?
Jason Anderson, 125 Lake Road.
Hold on one moment, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you. I've got a question that's kind of directed towards planning and zoning and town staff. Does the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Planning Department have to take into account any potential public safety impacts created by applicants' projects like this one? Do you have to take that into consideration when you're approving special permits?
That would be part and parcel of it.
Okay. Are you required to make sure potential public safety impacts that could be created are mitigated?
If you're talking about the ones on the road, that's a state road and that's beyond our way.
I'm referring to impacts that happen on town roads from this project, or any project in general.
That is something that the engineer would be looking at. Our town engineer, he reviews these things. He does look at the safeties of the street.
Thank you. I want to address the traffic study that was submitted with this project. On page 4 in the traffic study, it states, bear with me, I'm flipping back to that. It states, it's the professional opinion of Solely Engineering that the proposed development will not have an adverse impact on traffic operating conditions in the study area. Does the traffic, and this traffic report was dated the day after Planning and Zoning approved the 7-Eleven project. Does the traffic from the approved 7-Eleven project and traffic from the potential reopening of Walgreens on Forbes, the Walgreens distribution center on Forbes Road, and the increased traffic from a full year of operation at 550 Hartford Pike change the opinion from solely? My next thing I want to bring up is on page 6 in the traffic study. It talks about existing traffic, and it says the NDS data was from June of 2025. The Walgreens distribution center, which is a 444,000 square foot distribution center, actually closed in 2024, and that's already a approved permitted project, and that could reopen at any time. Any traffic from that reopening wouldn't be included in this study because the distribution was already closed when the June 2025 NDS data came out. It also talks about, and this is in section 4.0, existing traffic. It also talks about majority of stations in the area reported a decrease in traffic volumes over recent years, yet later on it talks about when it projects the 2030 no-bill traffic, that there would be an increase in 1%. Just curious why solely felt there would be an increase if they're stating earlier there's been a decrease. The next question I had is on page 7, and it talks about the peak hours, the AM peak hours and the PM peak hours. I'm just curious how that impacts and how it correlates to Killenly Public Schools bus schedules, and what kind of impact there's going to be considering the proximity to Killenly High School and Killenly Central School, and not that far from KIS or KMS either. The other thing on page 8, it talks about 100% of the truck traffic is going to go south. I'm curious how, I looked at today's agenda, and today's agenda did not include any site plans, so I'm curious how they're going to prevent any truck traffic from going northbound from the facility. I don't know if that's going to be the entrance and exit into the facility, if that's going to prevent vehicles from turning north. My big concern is with the 7-Eleven getting approved, just north of it, I went adjacent to the site where this is going to be planned, plugged Hartford, Connecticut into my GPS, and I added a stop for the location of where the 7-Eleven is going to go. And the GPS actually takes you from the 7-Eleven down Lake Road, through the industrial park, out the residential part of Lake Road onto Route 101. So I'm really curious how they're going to prevent any traffic from going northbound. Also on page 5, again, it talks about the 2025 existing traffic volumes, and again, that doesn't include any traffic from the 7-Eleven that just got approved. Doesn't include a full year of traffic from 550 Hartford Pike, where the Starbucks is located, and doesn't include if the Walgreens distribution center reopens. And then on page 11, it references accident data. The accident data was from 2024. From what I've been told, there's been an uptick in accidents in the area since the 550 Hartford Pike is opened. I would be curious to see what 2025's accident data looks like instead of looking at 2024 accident data, because the 2025 accident data should be available. My big concern with, and I brought this up during the 7-Eleven proposal, is any truck traffic going out of the industrial park through Route 101 heading westbound. The town planning and zoning and planning department have all been notified previously during the NTE project that the portion of Lake Road west of Forbes Road does not meet regulations for tractor trailer traffic due to radius of the turn, width of the turns, and sight lines. My concern is, shouldn't the town be doing something to mitigate any additional traffic from going up that way, seeing how we've already had the 7-Eleven approved, and if this gets approved, I really think it's gonna impact traffic. Even if they're forcing the truck traffic to go southbound and the truck traffic goes up to the 7-Eleven, since when that 7-Eleven project was proposed, they said the mobile station wasn't conducive for truck filling the way it's set up, and that most trucks would go up to the 7-Eleven rather than using the mobile on 101. Even from the 7-Eleven on mobile, where the location for the 7-Eleven on mobile 1 is, truck traffic would then still continue from there. It wouldn't bring it back down 395 to Route 101. GPS would continue again westbound on 101 on Lake Road until you reach 101. So my concern is back of, you've got traffic from the Walgreens distribution center, if and when it opens back up. You've got traffic from the 7-Eleven. All of that isn't included in this report, and I think all that needs to get taken care of, and I would love to see this traffic report get redone, including all that information, since Walgreens distribution center is already an approved project. I do have a lot of concerns over the impact on KHS and KCS's bus schedules, as well as all the concerns that everyone's brought up tonight. And I want to thank everyone who's come out tonight. It's important that people come out. I know it's not easy to get behind that podium and speak, and I want to thank you all for listening.
Okay, sir.
Hi, so my name's
Yes.
John Greb. Who's talking, me or somebody else?
Should be you.
Okay, I didn't know if there was another phone call. So my name's John Greb. I live at 68 Putnam Pike with my family. I've lived there, this will be 20 years. So I bought my house, the highway was there, Killenly Building Products was there, the town garage was there. I never bitch about it. I gotta listen to the trucks get loaded this time of year. I don't care. I don't have a problem with it. The thing I want to talk about, and I'm glad to see that some of my neighbors have brought up about the watershed and whatnot, but I'd like to bring up a few things. Number one is, I don't know how Route 12 is going to handle the truck traffic like people are talking about. I am a truck driver, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to make that corner from Route 101 east onto Route 12 north with a 53-foot trailer behind me. I've done it with our own trucks and my company trucks and whatnot, and it's tough. If a lot of the truck traffic is going to be going south, that means the trucks are going to have to come north to get to this facility. So there's one area of concern. Also, Atawagan Crossing Road, making a right to get to this new facility, forget it. That ain't happening. That's way worse. The road's not wide enough to support this kind of traffic, and with, like people have said, pedestrians and whatnot, be a nightmare. I also can tell you that at 2:30 in the afternoon, I can't leave my driveway because traffic is backed up to the highway garage from the light at 101. So you add to this all this truck traffic. I love trucks, okay? But you add all of this truck traffic, forget it. It's gonna be a nightmare. L&W Supply bought out Killenly Building Products. It seems like they have like doubled their amount of product they move. And the trucks in the morning are lined up. I can't leave my driveway because they're parked in the street. And anybody that's been up Route 12, whether you live there or not, it's not wide. It's already a traffic nightmare. So, I mean, you add to this, forget it, okay? Also, being that I live right there,
the light pollution, the noise level, the backup alarms all day and all night long. People, nobody's gonna like that. I don't think that this location is a good spot for not one, but two warehouses. I think maybe they should look around at some better areas, maybe other industrial parks that are already in the area. I don't think that it's a good idea with the high school and stuff, with the traffic and the trucks. I don't think that the infrastructure can support it, and I'm talking about like the roads and whatnot. And people gotta be prepared for the construction of it, the hammering, 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day for months, because I don't know if anybody knows that area, but it's all ledge back there. They're gonna be hammering. Yeah, so I hope you like your foundation now, because I don't know how well it's gonna hold up.
Mine's screwed up from the high school from years prior.
Yeah.
I didn't know when I bought it 10 years ago. Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, is there nowhere else that would be a better place for this, for them to, I mean, yeah.
It'll just go on forever because it's
Mhm.
not a chemical problem.
Yep.
All right,
But it's
thank
gonna
you.
be, it's gonna be the residents' problem, is basically the point I'm trying to make.
You got anything else to add?
No, because I'm not gonna repeat what everybody else said. I agree with my neighbors. I don't even know them, but I'm glad that we're like-minded people, so.
I just have one thing to add that will be on public record this time. If the town
Name
does
and
not-
address, please, ma'am. for the
Barbara
record.
Yater, and I live on Putnam Pike.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If the town does not want this, what gives you the authority to go forward with this? You all work for the people in the town. We're telling you that we don't want it. So that should end it. Shouldn't there be a public vote or something when we're all showing up to say how bad it is? Why is that not even, you're already pushing through everything when we don't want it. You guys don't own the town.
I have a petition of 170 people.
I'm signing that when.
This was online, I can send it to you guys online.
All you are is steward to the land, you're not owners of it.
I was online.
Yeah, we're all saying
What? What?
All right, so my name's Chris Holler. I'm 74 Putnam Pike. Just a few things, safety concern wise. We had a fire in Ottawagan of a mill that had hydrants. All right, the water pressure there was almost nil. Could have injured some firefighters, all this other stuff. On top of, if there were people trapped in there, we weren't going in, right? Where you're proposing to build this, the nearest hydrant is down at Burger King. You're going up a hill to this road, to this driveway entrance, then you're going up a hill even more, right, to attack this fire. I tell you, any of those warehouses, the water that they have on site will not support it. We're gonna have to take water from a hydrant, wherever the nearest one is, shuttle the water up there, hose it up there. You're gonna injure some firefighters. Our town already has an issue with volunteers, all that stuff. You don't wanna hurt these guys, they do it for free, okay? The second thing that I have with that whole area is you have a slope. That driveway comes down. One of those truck brakes fail. You're not just driving into trees, you're potentially driving into people's houses. With that fully loaded in the aquifer, now you got a deep problem, right? So just some safety concerns. That's really all I have to say on top of everything else people have said. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Kim Smith from Dabo.
This man just brought up a good point. We all saw the fires in Hawaii. We all saw the fires in LA. If there's a fire in these places, all of that part of Dayville is all woods. We could be looking at a natural nationwide disaster. Is that really what we're thinking of doing? This is serious. This man had a great point. How do you put a fire? If the warehouses will be full of goods, whatever's going in there, which we still don't know what it is. If there's a fire with all the woods that go all the way to Rhode Island, what? My goodness, Northeast Connecticut could burn. And we can't be naive and say, oh, no, that wouldn't happen. It happened in Los Angeles. It happened in Hawaii. Alabama. Yet Guam. We're seeing these fires all over the world because of bad building. And 3 have happened here in our country. Please, for the love of God, think of the animals, the people, the children. This is not the place for this monster. If you ever took your... I remember when Jack Burke ran the town council, and I was good friends with somebody in his family. The pressure for him to build, you probably remember Jack, the pressure on him to build, that he resisted. And he got pressure, oh, it'll be good for the tax base, it'll be good for this, we'll get a new school. He always resisted it. He resisted it, because you know what he used to say? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. The federal money has always been available, but he did resist to keep Killingly small. This is serious. I'm shaking after I heard that man say that. We saw Los Angeles last year. Do we want that here in Northeast Connecticut? Putnam? No, this should be a no. And after hearing that man, this shouldn't even be a thought. Shouldn't even be a thought. And shame on any of you.
Justin Fisher, 94 Dam Road, to back up this fire hydrant, Burger King, if we can support putting out this fires. I was just curious if Old Killingly Pond could be used to help support those fires.
Good evening. My name is Claudette Rogers. I live at 294 Putnam Pike for the last 27 years. So I've been there since the high school was built up there. I lived on Country Club Road for the years prior to that. I'm an Attawagan resident my whole life. I know many of the townspeople. I have not only lived at 294 Putnam Pike for 27 years, I've been a school bus driver for 18 of those years. I travel these roads daily. I know these families. My family has lived on this land their whole lives. My mother comes from a very big family of 14, and my grandfather did serve as part of the town council or something at some point. But when they were deciding to build the high school, and we had options as a town to where it was going to be built, being a bus driver at that time, knowing that the high school in my backyard was not the best option, because I do ride four-wheelers, I know what was out there, and that the taking the high school out of the borough of Danielson, where there's sidewalks and there's ample fire hydrants and all that stuff. Right now we're dealing with the issue of we can't get emergency personnel out to our football fields and stuff because we don't have adequate road, and we built on ledge and wetlands. And when the earth says no, when Mother Nature says no, this is not the spot, you get things like heaves, ice heaves. And that's what happens in ledges when the ground warms. So that's why we've already had to do the gym floor over at the high school. So wetlands, ledge, they started blasting for the high school and didn't inform the local residents that they were going to start blasting. I had to call the town hall and be like, what's going on? For them to send somebody out to say, hey, we're blasting back here. That's not an earthquake that you just felt. And my foundation is cracked also. Nothing that I can do. I ended up with a $5,000 property enhancement with the high school. They said that the sewer and water or whatever was going to be part of the high school expansion, and then they taxed it on to me, the town of Killingly, even though it's Route 12 is a state-owned. Like, we ended up with $5,000 put on our, I didn't have to connect because I'm farther enough off the road that I didn't have to connect, so therefore I didn't come to any public hearings to fight this, but yeah, so that's it. Roots run deep. I know that the high school was not a good choice for this town, and I think that, you know, now that we see the pedestrian traffic and I've seen the kids walking down that hill where I can't tell you how scary it is to see kids walking down a hill when there's no sidewalk, and they'll ride their skateboards, they're invincible at 18 years old, and they're on Route 12, they're on Soap Street. The track team runs a loop like through Owen Bell, but it goes down Soap Street and stuff. There's kids all over the place that it'd just be awful to see. No crosswalk, no, because they're not supposed to walk, but they can walk and they can go down there. And so that's that. The aquifer. I've heard about the aquifer for 18 years. I didn't really know all that much about the aquifer. I just knew that and I'm so excited that I'm not the only one up here this fight. When it was the time for the high school and I was telling the town about the transportation issues it was going to be, and even dividing the schools, what the transportation issues are going to be. My day used to end at 4 o'clock. My day doesn't end until 4:45 now. These parents don't get their kids. There's kids getting dropped off for each individual school. So we got buses dropping off, off on North Road. I love my sights up there on North Road. I see the full moons and the sunrises. It's awesome, and I would love to keep it that way. But the aquifer, we have enough already to worry about. You got a town garage that 18 years ago my supervisor was trying to get off of the aquifer. He doesn't want it on the aquifer. Yeah, right after Richard Lavola left, AJ came to me and said, these buses should not be on our aquifer. We should move them to the old AT&T building. We should move them here or there. They tried, and there was a thought process. It never went anywhere. But, okay, so we already have stuff that's on our aquifer that shouldn't be on our aquifer. Those big diesel buses, the town trucks, all that should not be on our aquifer. If you live on Route 12, you know Route 12, right where they're going to build this is ledge. And it's already, for years and years and years, there's a natural spring there. So on warm days, or not even warm days, so cold days, the natural springs shoot out. It's a layer of ice right after transit, like in between the houses there, from the ledge. And the state can only put salt down. We don't do sand anymore. So salt on ice just makes slipperiness. It's a hazard there. It's just ugly, just the runoff, the ice. It's ice, and those days where you get frost heaves, that's what happens there. Okay, so that's it. The aquifer, bad choices in the town, blasting, the ledge, awful. It's gonna, the environmental, the tree frogs almost saved the high school from going where it went, but it didn't happen, and they're not too environmentally. But there are bog turtles that we'll have to look into for the wetlands. Blasting ledge. Okay, emergency access to the high school, and so I don't know if this was said or not yet, but septic or sewer? like for this project?
It's gonna have to be septic. We have a sewer moratorium, there's no sewer.
Okay. And I think that's all. And I do thank you guys all and you guys all for all being here.
I'm Robin Lofquist. I live on La Fantasy Road. I'm noting that almost all the speakers live or work near the proposed site for these distribution centers. And I just want to voice the opinion of one woman who doesn't live anywhere near them. I think it's a terrible idea. I think there's a myriad of reasons why this is not a good development for Killingly, as articulated by all these people so effectively. And I haven't heard one argument why it's a good idea. And I just want to say that I think I probably speak for a lot of people who don't necessarily live in that neighborhood who equally feel that it's a terrible idea.
Anybody else?
Charles Vidic, 40 Frontage Road, Ashford, Connecticut. While I'm not a resident of Killingly, I'm a resident of Connecticut, and I've been involved as a professional planner in a goodly number of mega warehouse projects in Connecticut. So just a few things. The study I left here provides an extensive list of uses that are inappropriate in an aquifer. And one of them is a truck terminal, which is what a distribution center essentially is. That's the approach Massachusetts has taken. It's also the approach other New England states have taken because of the very nature of what you've heard tonight. All of the discharges from trucks and automobiles all accumulate over time, as you've heard from an individual earlier. And it's the death by 1,000 cuts that you get when you have the slowly seeping into your groundwater, which is really all we have for drinking. That's why Waterbury doesn't have an aquifer anymore for drinking purposes. It got contaminated by Scoville, Anaconda Copper, and the other industries that used to be there. And as a result, where does Waterbury get its water? Not from Waterbury. They get it north, way north, extremely expensive system of bringing it from northern Connecticut downwards. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. Truck terminals do not make sense in a aquifer area. You can look at that report in the appendix and you'll find a list of all the things that are called high. High means they're not appropriate. There's medium and there's low, but truck terminals is in that high category. I'm a professional planner, so I do watch these things. The International Transportation Engineers, called ITE, puts out the Trip Generation Manual. It's the 11th edition that just got updated to the 12th edition. I took a look at the traffic volumes on what we have here on Route 101 as well as Route 12. Route 101 on the east side of 395 is average daily count of 8,800 vehicles a day. On the west side, it's 11,300 vehicles a day. Now, if you take the trip generation factors, since the applicant has not said what kind of a warehouse we're going to have, there's 5 different kinds of warehouses that the ITE Trip Generation Manual addresses. And given what we have here, the numbers can go from about 2,000 vehicles a day to, given that there's 2 of these proposals, each about 475,000 square feet, up to about 16,000 vehicles a day. So take the 8,000 you've already got on 101 right there at the corner of 101 and 12, and add another 8 to 12. If there's one vehicle, one warehouse, 475,000, that would add 8,000 worst case. If it's 2, it'll be 16,000. So you add 16,000 plus 8,000, you got 24,000 vehicles that would be going through without any of the comments that we heard earlier from the person who spoke online about all the what-ifs of the other things that have not been considered. So you're talking about a massive amount of traffic. Now, I haven't looked at the traffic study, but I'm giving you what any traffic engineer will do. I spent my career in this field, so I can tell you that if they're not using the ITE trip generation manuals, worst case numbers, you're not going to be able to assume the right impacts that will happen in terms of volume, safety, turning movements, all of those issues. Now I'm going to give you what I think is probably the most important. I've looked at the regulations. I don't see anything in the regulations right now that says this is a permitted use. In fact, it's not in the general commercial. So let's look at section 400 for a second, which is a key phrase here in section 400. The purposes and uses of such districts shall be as contained on the following pages. That means the entire zoning regulation. Any use not specifically permitted or allowed by special permit is prohibited. There is no mention in the general commercial regulation that I saw for this type of use. So, of course, you need to go through the public hearing process. You've accepted a complete application, but you can turn it down quickly or you can turn it down later. But the reality is, if it were to be contested, the contestation would be on whether the authority of the commission is there to actually approve something that is not permitted. So I put that there because as a professional planner, I think everyone should know the details of what courts do. And I have been an expert witness in many court cases, including Supreme Court cases in Connecticut and in federal court cases. And that would be my professional opinion, that that's the fundamental weakness that the commission needs to look at when making a decision. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I clear something up, please? Can I ask what the date is of those zoning regulations?
That's what I was going to say.
Because in issued July 18th, 2022, it does show up under special permitted uses under general commercial. If it's on the website, it's the most current regulations on the website. It's right here. It's still here.
Michelle Murphy, 325 Breakneck Hill Road. I found it confusing also when I was looking at the regulations first. I saw the old ones and then I saw the new ones, and the new ones do say special permit. I had a question about the special permit language in 700. Like, if he meets all the objectives, are we still allowed to say no? So that's my question. And that includes, that would not be including, does it fit? Because I think, does it fit? Is that something that would allow you to say no? Like, I'm confused. He took out his waivers. Were the waivers gone, or do you have the option to say no? And then as I looked into this project, like, you know, I had mixed feelings. Nobody wants to squash jobs or squash development. I heard mixed things from the town. But I was shocked by such large portions of the hill, you know, that whole hill being general commercial. Like, I had no idea that, you know, I can see along the road 5 acres or 10 acres, but 50 acres, 60 acres up the hill. It was like kind of shocking to me. And then I did check into the regulations because I also said, oh, when did this become general commercial and not industrial? And so, you know, it might be something to look at in the regulations again in the future. If you look at them, like, should this only be industrial? Should there be a size limit? Particularly, you know, depending on whether you can say yes or no, because this is like huge and taking up the whole forest. And You know, why is that not an industrial thing if it's a 24/7? I also want to speak to the noise. That would bother me personally. I know I would hear it, and the hours. But those are my thoughts.
Ida Barris, 1123 North Road, where the skies are beautiful. We don't have light pollution. Well, we do, but not like we will. I was looking up warehouses in other places in Connecticut. And I just wanted to say that most of these came from the Hartford Courant, but I'm sure there are other sources as well. These towns have refused to have these giant warehouses for all of the same reasons. Most of the reporting on it said that because the public was so opposed to this, that the planning and zoning turned them down. There was Cromwell, Windsor Locks, Wallingford, Cheshire, Willington, Newton, East Granbury, Watertown, and Middlebury. And those are just some of the folks in Connecticut that said, no, this is not in our best interest. So maybe you could talk to some of those folks as well when you're making decisions to see how they came to that conclusion that it was not in these towns' best interests. I think sometimes we're considered the quiet corner, and we like to think of the quiet corner as the beautiful quiet corner with the open skies and the running water and the beautiful trees and the deer trotting through. We are the quiet corner. We are not the stupid corner. So let's hear our voices heard. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Tom Egan, 108 Stone Road, Dayville. Been here since 22. 02, I'm sorry. I just don't understand why they need a warehouse there. I drive up and down that road, Route 12, daily, and I've actually came up to the light at Attawagan the other day, and a tractor trailer was trying to come south on Route 12. Impossible task. I actually had to back up. Luckily, there was nobody behind me, and I backed up 50 feet so the gentleman could get that vehicle around that corner. It's just not a good idea. And then I wasn't even aware that it was an aquifer, and that is insane. Do we know, are there going to be hazardous materials in this warehouse that they're putting up? Are they telling us what they're putting in here? No, they haven't said anything. Let's open our eyes and stop this. We gotta just say no.
Russ Goulet, Quince Hill Road, Dayville. Seems like not too long ago, a few months back, we were meeting, probably a lot of the same people, and the town was speaking loudly about not wanting the zoning to allow large parcels to be divided and to have up to 4 units on 1 acre of land. I attended, that was my first meeting I ever attended, and I heard this town speak loudly against wanting such a thing. And you guys listened, and you have the power, and you said no, and thank you very much for that. Sounds like we're doing, to me, this is even worse. I mean, we want to keep the last Green Valley green, we want to keep it quiet. We all moved here for the reasons mentioned. It's a beautiful place to live. It's the last Green Valley, Killingly Pond going now. Hopefully that's something's gonna be done there, but love that place. But last gentleman stole my thunder about, hey, what's gonna be in these things? We don't know. They don't even have tenants yet. I looked on the internet, and they're looking to lease or to sell. The people who are wanting to, well, asking to build this place, right? Which seems a little bit ridiculous. Could end up being a white elephant, you know? But I just wanted to say, I'm not going to go through the traffic, the light, and all that stuff. Everyone said enough about that. But I just want to say that this town, my second meeting here, third meeting, is speaking. They're shouting, they're yelling, not just, hey, you know, it would be nice if you not do this. And they don't want it. I don't hear one pro for the townspeople here. One benefit to the townspeople, that if this thing was done, what good would it be for us? Just the opposite. There's a million reasons it'd be bad for us. So I'm hoping that, and I'm trusting that this, our town leaders are gonna come through for us and say no to this. It's ridiculous. Thank you very much.
Ed Grandelski, Upper Maple Street. Glad the aquifer area came up. Maybe my question is, who is going to be responsible for reporting to DEP on whatever? There's a requirement. There's a reporting requirement. I don't know what it is. The highway garage has to file a report every now and then. That's one entity. That's a known entity. You have someone with multiple people. It could be one owner, it could be one lessor, it could be one, or it could be many. Who is going to be who is required to be the responsible party to put these requirements in writing? Everybody's, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't want to ever hear, if this gets approved and a developer comes back and says, oh, I'm having a hardship now. Well, too bad. If they can't meet the requirements, that's on them. They bought into this, buyer beware, whatever else. Hopefully the requirements that we have in the planning and zoning regs cover all the bases, and you know, we're all in a decent shape. One other thing, I don't want this driveway down the road for the developer. Oh, I want to request this to be a town road. I think there should be language in there. This will not be a town road. I see hidden within the specs, it says built to town standards. And then maybe, oh, who are we out there? Are we going to spend our engineering money to do test borings and everything else that's required to make sure that it meets the town? I don't think that's our responsibility. So I would like somewhere in the comments that this will not be a town road. Earlier when I came on, fire protection. And some people brought up the nearest hydrants down by Burger King. How many million gallons of water tanks are you going to require to be up on the hill? That should be up there. We can't rely on water shuttles from somewhere else. I mean, that's a total disservice to our volunteer firefighters. You know, we've had some small house fires where we couldn't save. And now you have how many hundreds of thousands of square feet, not knowing what is even going to be in there. And then again, when it comes to some of the building requirements, you know, what kind of fire retardants, firewalls, and any of that, I don't know whose responsibility that is, but if we don't know what material is going to be stored in these buildings, again, where do the firefighters come in? After the fact? Then we should have built this, we should have built that. We should be looking to this up front. I guess because we're not going to have city sewer up there, so there's going to be septic systems. Septic systems on ledge. You know, come on. It's, but again, that's up to NDDH if they say, and then I don't know how we're gonna, how you design a septic system at this point in time, that to get an approval from NDDH, you have no idea how many personnel is gonna be there, or is the septic system designed based on square foot of building? You know, I don't have enough time to read all the regulations to figure all this out. And similarly, water retention ponds on ledge. Where's it gonna go? It's gonna overflow. So how big of what, I see something on some of the plans here, but is it sufficient? You know, have we done any soil borings or test borings to see how much that land can absorb? So, I mean, and then the biggest thing, we have someone coming into town, and they cannot have the courtesy to come to in person to this meeting. As a member of the town council, I am personally offended by lack of someone being present. You want to come in with this kind of development, face the facts and face the people. Thank you.
Jennifer St. Vincent, 136 Putnam Pike. Is there a way I can show you guys the video of our rock wall the day that it flooded, so that everyone can see what we're talking about?
You can
Can
deal
I
with it. Jonathan would be the one that would know how to do that, and he
Jonathan,
might
would
leave
you
it with
be able
him.
to show this picture? This is a video, Peter? This video for me?
Huh? Well, that's what I'm figuring. So Jonathan, if you can get it and then send it out later. Anybody else want to speak at this point?
Ulatique Barclay, 26 Dark Lantern Hill Road. I'm here as a resident. I'm gonna piggyback off of Ed and DEEP, and Justin Fisher and his wife Kelly can attest to this in regards to Old Killingley Pond. And DEEP, who's gonna report to DEEP? Well, DEEP has shirked their responsibility of making sure that the Wish Foundation took care of the dams at Old Killingley Pond for, 20 years? So who are we going to depend on? I don't think it's going to be DEEP in the state, because in reality, they don't care either. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, Dr. Angelina Wagner. Again, I'm from Putnam. One thing that I haven't really heard anyone talk about, and I only know this because I did research for one of the grants for the state, and that Killingley and the Quiet Corner is a healthcare desert. Your resources for like emergency services is stretched thin. Oftentimes you have people coming from Massachusetts down to help with fires and accidents when they happen here in the Quiet Corner or down in Killingley and Danielson area. Thinking about the area where this is proposed and all the accidents that are going to happen, you're going to stretch yourself out so much thinner, not including the air pollution and how that's going to affect the elderly residents. No offense, I love my elderly people. The children, my daughter has asthma, and I know that especially when in the cold months it gets worse because the pollution is being bogged down. You guys are already struggling, so why not focus on improving the systems that keep your residents healthy and strong versus allowing an establishment to come here and cause more literal physical harm. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody else?
We had some public comments. They are up on our website. People can look at them, but I just want to see, I'll just quickly say who sent them. One was from Michaela Horn, and she's just saying that Killingley residents are opposed to the new distribution center. Another one is Kevin Mahan. He's strongly opposed to the building of the warehouse. Again, these are all up on our website underneath public comment. Becky Gadboy, I'm sorry if I say that, vote no, opposition to the proposed distribution centers at 90 Putnam Pike. Mark Salisbury, let's see, he has concerns, request for the impact study, we did send that over to him. The last mile versus general warehouse traffic. Let's see, character of the quiet corner. Again, he is opposed to this. That's Mark Salisbury. Another person we have is Liberty Hart. Wants us to vote no, does not agree with it. Stephanie Burgett, she strongly opposes, as she calls it, the monstrosity. Jason Miller, let's see, lower taxes, they do not agree with it. They do not agree with it at all. They have some strong language in here. I just can't repeat. But all members of the board have gotten copies of these. And they, as I told everybody, they are on our town's website under public comment. So they are part of the public record.
Okay, one more time, anybody else? Staff? Commission members, anybody want to say something at this point? Go ahead.
I'd like to address some of the questions by Mr. Anderson earlier. If you look at our planning and zoning regulations, Article 7, special permits, it's on the second page. 700.6.1, review of site and architectural plans. There's 7 items listed there. The first one is the nature of the proposed site, including its size and shape and the proposed size, shape, and arrangement of structures. Number 2, the resulting traffic patterns, adequacy of proposed off-street parking and loading and avoidance of hazards to pedestrians. Number 3, the nature of the surrounding area and the extent to which the proposed use or feature will be in harmony with the surrounding area or will serve as a transition between unlike areas and will protect property values and preserve and enhance the beauty of the area. Number 4, the proximity of dwellings, churches, schools, public buildings, and other places of public gatherings. Number 5, the avoidance of potential nuisance. Number 6, all standards contained in these regulations. Number 7, the plan of development for the Borough of Danielson and other expressions of the purpose and intent of these regulations. That's it.
Okay. All right, that's, we're gonna continue. Do you need a voting on it, continuance, or it's just automatically continued?
You need a vote on it to continue it
Have a
till
motion?
February 17th.
Motion to continue the public hearing to February 17th.
Second?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
We continue it, and there's a public comment period with
Correct.
the continuation.
Yeah, public
Is that
hearing is
correct?
a public hearing.
Yeah, thank you.
Second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? That's continued. Okay. Unfinished business, subdivision application number 251361, Michael and Sharon Doty. Applicants, landowners, 101 Kuma Hill Road, JS map 186. Lot 3.1, 17 acres, rural development, proposed 3-lot subdivision, and that is continued as well.
That's continued to February 17th.
Special permit application 251362, that's continued.
To February 17th.
New business, third-party review. You want to discuss that at all, or?
We do have another application coming up. Staff is highly suggesting that there is a third-party review, independent third-party review. The people that we were requesting do the third-party review had to recuse themselves as There was a conflict, so we're back to square one, but we have some names that we're gonna look forward to. It's just basically that. I'm just waiting till people pass. So, I will keep you informed of what's going on. We did put out a request for qualifications, the engineering department did. We do have some groups that we will be talking to.
The free split, no, he can't speak because he's not here, so.
Unfortunately, he's not able to be here. We will have an attorney next month. If it's not Mr. Slater, it will be Mr. Roberts. They're putting together a presentation for us with regards to a free split, first split. So if you so choose, because you were wondering about a workshop, we could schedule everything into a workshop and at 6 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock, we could start with the regular meeting.
I don't think any of it's gonna take long to discuss. I mean, so, if people wanna come in early for it and.
Well,
I think we're
looking
gonna
at
be
the
very
free
busy.
split, first split, 5 Mile River overlay.
Right, and the parking regulations, is that the industrial one we were talking about? Is that what that is?
No, that is, parking regulations, there's a new, and Jonathan will go over it more during his report, House Bill, Bill 8002, does have, we do need to do some revisions to our parking regulations.
Because we were talking, I was asking about the industrial park with the paving issue.
Yes, that's part of it too. We're trying to track down the person, the contact over there. We have reached out to them, and I'm waiting for them to get back to us so we can discuss that with them.
Well, I just think that we might bring it up before the commission and decide because if we haven't been doing it, then maybe we should just look at if we should or not, then maybe come up with another standard. People are starting to use grindings and other issues for parking. Whereas right now, in the industrial zone, if you put a parking lot in, you're supposed to put in, it says 3 inches of asphalt, which means, but it's not, it hasn't been doing, we got an issue over there right now about it. So, I just thought we could put it up and do this as a workshop and discuss it all at one time, along with these other issues. Any
I can put that
comments?
on the workshop schedule.
All right, with you guys for a workshop an hour early next time?
Okay.
Could I ask a question about
Sure.
those 5 issues?
Yeah.
That 5 mile overlay, I'd like to see a comparison about how this benefits versus, the authority is with inland wetlands. Is this just a duplication? If it is, I don't know why it's even in there.
Well, the last time we discussed this, it was with the town attorney, and if you remember, there was an application come in where a complaint about the 5 mile overlay. And at that point, at least at that point, with that situation, it was determined that it was unenforceable. So if it's unenforceable, then the intent was at that point, we were just gonna eliminate it. However, other issues came in the way, and we just kinda dropped the ball. So,
Well, I understand why people feel comfortable because it's there.
Yeah.
But if it's unenforceable and it's a duplication of what, this agency does, simplify things. I mean, that's how I look at it.
well, that's the point. Let's get it taken care of. These 3
Okay.
issues are issues that have been lingering, and let's just get rid of them, take care of them, and I don't think once we start working with them, it's gonna be.
So that'll be a part of a discussion with the attorney here, Mr. Slater,
Right.
right? Okay.
Right. Okay. Organizational meeting?
Every year you have to do an organizational meeting. It says either in January or the month following. So because of what was going on tonight, again, we figured it would be best to do this on February 17th.
You think it'll be any better?
We'll just do it, we'll just do this early. We'll do this first thing because it's a reorganization. I just want to make everybody be prepared for it.
Okay. Okay, section 9, adoption of minutes. Regular meeting Monday, December 15th. Motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the minutes from the meeting of December 15th.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Other miscellaneous, nothing. Correspondence, everybody's got their zoning practice, and Federation of quarterly newsletter, departmental reports, zoning officer.
So, Mr. Chair, you asked me to look at the House Bill 8002. I did prepare a handout for you guys. I will say that staff is going to be going to a training on Thursday, so this handout could be amended. It's up to you if you want it tonight or to read through.
It's up to the commission if they want it. You guys want it tonight, or you want to wait till next? Is it complete?
I will say I'm going to a training, so it might get amended. So it
Yeah.
is a very large bill. I went through the bill. Also, Connecticut Mirror had a great 3-part series going through it. It was an opinion piece from 2 attorneys that dove into the bill. I focused mainly on land use, but there's a lot of aspects to the bill.
Commission members fine with waiting until next month, or,
I think we should wait.
okay?
I agree.
Seems to be a consensus. Economic development.
The commission met on January 6th. We had 3 representatives from the Killingly Public School System to talk about ways to collaborate, including job shadow opportunities and how the business community can support the public education. There was a request for an extension on our second billboard application. Originally, it had been approved. There's only 2 allowable, and the pathway would go through economic development, and then they still would have to go through planning and zoning and permitting processes. The original location that they selected was not approved by the state DOT, so they asked for a 2-year extension, and that was granted, provided they made significant progress. We just didn't want them sitting on that permit to box out competition. We also talked about opportunity zones. Back in the first Trump administration, he had created opportunity zones, which were strictly a tax benefit for developers and for public investment for qualifying districts. Killingly did not have any census tracts that qualified. However, this year we have 2. And it's the industrial park and downtown Danielson. So right at this point, they're just doing a survey on that. It would not change land use in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, it's more a tax incentive at the federal level. We'll have a ribbon cutting on January 31st at 10 a.m. at 148 Warwigan Road for the Quiet Corner Peer Support Group. So if you're available, come out and support them as they support others. And then today we got permission from EPA to move forward on the Bailey Hill Mill site. They gave us permission to move some of the rubble so they can put a boring underneath the rubble. And so they'll be doing a phase 3. So you may see some activity over there, but that's all part of that EPA multipurpose grant. And if anyone has any questions.
Any question? No? Mr. Griffiths?
Good evening.
Oh.
So the town council, the main topic in the last meeting was we interviewed council attorneys to represent the town. And we did not make a decision. We're going to make a decision next month. But you have to work with the attorneys. I don't know if you have an opinion or not.
we haven't had any issue with the Halloran Sage people.
I
They've been
did ask
very
the town-
responsive. They've been very responsive.
Thank you. I did ask the town manager to try to find out from staff. You work with them more than what the town does. We just want to make it, we all can work together. So, thank you.
I'd like to weigh in. I use Ann Contino for environmental review, anything coming from EPA and DEEP. And she, when I go to national conferences, they bring her in. She's very knowledgeable and very responsive to the needs of the community. So I'm not sure if you interviewed her, but I would say.
And the firm was?
Ann Contino, is she
It's
with
Halloran Sage.
Halloran Sage as well?
Halloran Sage is also very well known throughout the state. They do a lot of educational programs for the, like Casio. They have 2 attorneys at the Casio. They have APA, the Connecticut Bar Association. When they have an update every 2 years on case law on land use, it is usually somewhere along the line, the people that, as the presenter's going on, it's usually people from Halloran and Sage that are taking the questions over the telephone and answering them, so.
She remembered me from the siting council. That's all I have. Any questions?
Anybody got questions for?
Concerns? Thank you very much.
Okay, a motion to adjourn?
So be it.
Second?
I'll se-
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn. Opposed or abstentions? I don't think there's any.